Hello again. So this is an interesting article. A relative sent me a link to a Dutch website which reviewed a book that this woman wrote, or reviewed. No, not really reviewed. So told some interesting points or so. Couldn't read it. I said I needed to do some registration. Didn't want to do that. Said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Then I decided, okay, I'll look a bit. My relative mentioned the name of this woman. Okay, I'll search for it. And I found this article from the New York Times, February 2024. So almost a year ago. And this is, I suppose, her. It has to be photo illustration. Yeah, it's modified, of course. But what stands out to me about this picture, this looks exactly like the woman I dated, of whom I mentioned the behavior, in especially the walk in Kiev. And I said, yeah, that woman is a psychopath. She's an actress, or was an actress at the time. She's still doing photo modeling. I've seen pictures of her. I made a video showing a little bit about that. And that woman whom I dated in Kiev has exactly the same expression and face as this woman. It's a fake smile, and she mentioned a mask. So yeah, pretending to be or hiding your personality really, because otherwise she would not be interested in anyone. And of course, I know such people. I mentioned that of a video. Or about a video. I mentioned in one of my videos where I was walking in a park in Kiev, a psychiatrist who interviewed Kit Boga, and the first time I saw him, I thought, yeah, that's a psychopath. Zero facial expression, conversation doesn't flow, things like that. That's typical for such people. And then she wrote, what is it? Sociopaths are modern day boogeymen. No. And the word is casually tossed around to describe the worst, most immoral among us. But they're not boogeymen, they're real people. And according to Patric Gagne, so this woman, widely misunderstood, absolutely not misunderstood. Everything she says here confirms exactly what I already know about such people. Stupid camera is... the focus is shitty. Okay. But there was an interesting point, and I'm going to go over that, and I may connect that with this video, which is, or a little bit about Ayn Rand. So this video mentioned some interesting point at the end. She said that it was a cult, and because she indoctrinated, Ayn Rand's indoctrination of other people, not that Ayn Rand was indoctrinated. I thought that at first would be the meaning of this title, but okay. And that was in particular the husband of someone else and her own husband into allowing an affair and not going along with the normal principles that she lived by supposedly, and which were supposedly normal. But as I mentioned in one video, or perhaps a few, and on my website in any case as well, the thing she wrote, like the Atlas Shrugged, that to me is like the Psychopath's Bible. It glorifies selfishness as being good for everyone. It's absolutely moronic. And if you look at her face here, then I see, yeah, that's a fake smile. Makes me think a little bit about Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister. I watched a little bit of a video, which one, when was it? Maybe a month ago. A channel called Richard IV or something. And Starmer was being criticized by an interviewer, and he then had a sort of a smile, and then it stopped. And I thought, it's like this guy has just learned how to smile. He's trying it, and he just does not yet succeed. He has to be autistic, that Keir Starmer. It means he doesn't understand a lot of things, and he should not be prime minister. My point of view about any such people: if you don't understand other people and or you don't care about other people, you should not be allowed to make decisions about other people's lives. which means autists and psychopaths should not be allowed in any positions of power. And they're extremely destructive. And this woman says, they're boogeymen, but they're considered boogeymen, but they're different. Depends on the goals that they have in life. A lot of them go into politics, for example, and they do extreme damage. And you see that all over history. All those people who start wars, they're usually psychopaths. Hitler, for example, and Putin, idealistic psychopaths, I call them. This is also a problem in politics in general. On the left, there are a lot of idealists there, and idealists don't care about people; they care about ideals. That's extremely problematic. That's why you have this antisocial oppression coming from the left. And from the right, not so much, because they are more selfish, which means they keep to themselves and they're not trying to manipulate everyone into doing things. And that's what the left is doing. So as I mentioned before somewhere in one video, but also I think on my website as well, I'm not interested in left or right in politics. All of them are idiots. They don't understand life. So we need to go beyond all that. But let's look a little bit about comments, which is interesting here. And the title this Ben Richter Philosophie. That's almost certainly a German, or maybe Austrian or Switzer. The title of this video should be How to Explain Ayn Rand to Teenage Girls. It's more gossip than revealing any underlying truth. Absolute bullshit. It's not about gossip, it's about personal stuff. And that is, of course, showing something which she called at the end that she was indoctrinating other people. That's important. Read her book. What did you do in your life? Ayn left a mark that most helped most. Absolutely not. And hurt a few because she had told the hard truth. Not, she didn't tell the truth. She wrote the Psychopath's Bible. That's it. She did a lot of damage via giving psychopaths, enabling psychopaths, making themselves feel that they're doing the right thing. You saw that as well with the NX-IVM group. Keith Raniere, for example, and others had that book, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. You saw it in the TV series, and for them it was a sort of guide. And that also was a destructive cult. And let's see. Or perhaps Ayn hurt people because she was tactless and her free market truths were hard-hearted. Yeah, they were not truths. Yeah, of course in quotation marks. He says it as well, that it's not actually truth. Actually, it's very revealing how cult-like it all was. Yeah, that group. I wasn't interested. First time I watched this video, I saw a little bit about how this went and how she interacted with people. I was never interested. I only watched the film with fast forwarding. It's a 3-part film, Atlas Shrugged, which is a really stupid film, really uninteresting. It's selfishness being stated to be good for everyone. Ayn Rand did exactly what she said she didn't believe in, which was exploiting others for her own selfish benefits. She was a fraud, and so was her belief system, as she twisted it and defied it when it suited her, just like any other cult leader. I would not say like any other cult leader, like any other antisocial person. Antisocial people always look outside. They do not apply the principles to themselves. So they accuse others of doing things, but they will do them happily themselves. This is significant to note, as these ideas from her have shaped everything from philosophy to economics. Yep, there's a great influence in business. For example, in computing, you can see Oracle, which is a name from one of her books. And Larry Ellison, that's also a guy who's a psychopath, almost certainly. One of the developers of, for example, the ZFS filing system said... the ZFS filing system was developed as part of Solaris, which was part of Oracle. when it was taken over, when Sun was taken over by Oracle. And so he must have, one of those developers must have had some contacts with Ellison, and he said about him that having a conversation with Larry Ellison is like having a conversation with a lawnmower. In other words, he doesn't give a damn, he does not acknowledge even that you exist, something like that. And I've seen that in action as well, for example, with the director Cher Fontana of Schiphol, also a psychopath, Airport Schiphol. We can see from her disturbed private life what a fake she was and what a lot of hoopla all of these ideas truly were. In the end, she behaved like an irrational basket case when she didn't get her own way. Yeah, so much for reason and a fountain of all knowledge when the enlightened guru doesn't even follow her own teachings. Yeah, but it's the same with all these groups, like Bhagwan Osho Rajneesh, almost the same person but different names, which is stupid. He also did stupid things in, for example, enabling and appointing an antisocial woman, Sheila, in charge of things going on in the USA, which led to a lot of stuff, crimes, absolutely crazy. That guy should have known that. But there are other things he did also. He just didn't care about people. Then we have the Hare Krishna. Then we have Shunya Murti, which is Robert Shubo. In Costa Rica is a sort of ashram. And many others. They do not apply their own principles to themselves about how to properly live and understand everything in life. And they don't understand life. That's one of the big issues. Hare Krishna, I think, yeah, I made a video about that. Shows she didn't actually believe in them after all, so why should anyone else? Yeah, but it's antisocial behavior. Always looking to the outside. Others should do it, you don't need to do it yourself. The tragedy, it seems, is that some very powerful people have adopted the most recent parts of her flawed logic to justify abhorrent behavior. I would say it's just antisocial behavior, justifying certain business practices, etc. And I said, of course, it has led to so much human suffering. Well, there's much more suffering that's been caused by, for example, guys like Putin, but yeah, from her face, as I mentioned, this is not a normal expression. This woman is antisocial. And there's nothing really deep about Atlas Shrugged, for example. Anyway, I will get back to these topics, maybe combine them together, maybe separately soon. That's it for now. Bye.